Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm saying, what about the people? Can you hear me on Facebook? I'm asking the people on Facebook, can they hear me? I can't. Can y'all hear me? Okay. So I thought something was going on. Okay. I'm finna get started, y'all. Something was going on. Share my screen.
Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme picture of creation. When man becomes possessor of the knowledge of himself, he becomes master in his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. His faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man.
Raising my team, red, black, and green. Queen, the king, salute, now scream, I shake. Bring proper underneath it, I shake. I'm ripping my team, red, black, and green. Queen, the king, salute, now scream, I shake. Bring proper underneath it, I shake. I shake.
All right. Before I get started, I want to say ETM Hotep, Dual 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 Aku, Dual Nature, Fatmu Alafie, Fatmu Iwapele, Egun, Majube Ibai, Egungun Kiki, Egungun. I always have to give honor and praises to the ancestors. Without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. Um, Today's presentation is called African's Hair, presentation by Kofi Piesie. For some reason, I don't know why I'm thinking y'all can't hear me. Give me a thumbs up if y'all hear me. Yes, can y'all hear me clearly in the group before I get started? Sounds good on my end, but want to make sure it's good on y'all end. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Yes, y'all can hear me clearly before I go in. All right, appreciate that. What's going on with you? My name is Jay. How you doing, sis? Peace to Satep and Rob. Peace to Vasa Nicolo. Peace a band. Peace, peace, peace. Tim Smooth 71. Peace. Enigma 9 times 9. Peace, sister Julanda. A piece of Velocity RD. Peace, brother Marcel. I'm a hotel. Peace, peace. Um, that's all I see, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Again, the name of this presentation is called African Hair Presentation. I hope y'all appreciate this presentation. I enjoy putting this presentation here together. Before I get started, always on my channel, I always do a Hotel Dino suit before I get started. At the top, you have the sesh. In the middle, you have the transliteration. And at the bottom, you have the translation. I'm going to read the transliteration here, and I'm going to read the translation at the bottom. Hotel Dino suit, Wusid, Neb Jadu, Netcha A, Neb Adu, DF per correct, in Hinket Ka, Apet, Sesh. Minket nebet neferet wabet anket necher im in ka in imaku ma karu. The translation reads, an offering in which a king's give Usil, Lord of Jadu, the great deity, Lord of Obitus, that he may give a voice offering of calf, fowl, and linen, alabaster, and all that is pure, and a pure thing on which a deity lives, to the revered one, the ancestors of Kwame Ture, justified or true voice. I always try to give a offering to the ancestors. I'm always trying to revere our late and great ancestors. So this Kwame Ture on the side, formerly known as Stokely Carmichael. We know he was a Black Panther freedom fighter. He was also a member of the Student Non-Violent Coordinated Committee, which I think he started that. And I think at one time he was actually over the Black Panther Party. I had this on here, but I skip it. I'm so used to doing the Mossy thing. As I learn, we all learn. This is a phrase that I like uh, using all the time. So as I learn, we all learn. This is my disclaimer. I always have to put a disclaimer out here before I get started. The disclaimer is I am not a teacher, but merely a student sharing information. And that information provided is for the educational purpose only. And if you are in doubt, do the research or have it verified by someone qualified. I reserve the right to change the focus of this presentation to shut down or sell or exchange the terms of use at my own discretion. All trademark, design rights, copyrights, registrars' names, mottos, logos, avatars, the sigmas, and marks used or cited by this website are the properties of their respective owners. I reserve the right to add information as it comes available or adapt changes, improve information as it comes available in the future. Inputs wanted, changes, additions, deletions are encouraged. And family, everybody may appreciate this presentation, enjoy this presentation and the information. Please share the video as I get further into the presentation. If you like the presentation, give me a thumb up. If you're not appreciating, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate it either way. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Um, hair plays a significant role in the culture of ancient African civilization, as it symbolizes one's family's background, social status, spiritual tribes, and maturity stature. I'm gonna say that again. Hair plays in a significant role in the culture of ancient African civilizations, and is symbolized one's family background, social status, spirituality, tribes, and martial status. We're gonna go a little farther in that. Uh, excuse me too for my manners, brother. T'Challa, brother Jehudi, you got anything to say, man? I meant to if you wanted to say something before I got started, man.
No, Hotep saying, thank you for having me on there. Peace to the family in the chat. And go ahead. I know you've been waiting to get this off. I've been waiting for it too. So go in.
All right. All right. 4,000 years, people living in Africa have devoted time and attention to styling there, and some traditional styles are still worn today. Ancient hieroglyphs, sculptures, and masks reveals intricate of a variety hairstyles worn by people in different regions of this large continent. Hair covering do not appear on ancient sculpture drawings, which may mean that the hair was supposed to be visible in other people. So a lot of times you did see the hair was always exposed and not covered up. And I just took a few pictures here, just dealing with ancient Egypt or Kemet, with the different hairstyles on the different walls in Kemet. And then you have here a wig. I started to put a couple other wigs. Our sisters are still into the wigs. I bump into sisters all the time, thinking that's their hair, but that's a 3-piece Brazilian, a 10-piece something. But he's some different hairstyles here from Kemet, and then you'll see this hairstyle, which I'll show a picture of a Himba boy from the Himba tribe who has the what they call the Haru lock in Kemet, but he has this same fashion of style here in the Himba culture, where the big braid is on one side, or the big braid is in the front, or the big braid is toward the back. Well, I'll show some pictures and go into that culture a little bit later. As early as the 15th century, hair was the main disseminatory among different tribes and within the communities as martial status, age, wealth, and rank on a social hierarchy within the community or tribe. I'm gonna read that one more time, and for those that might didn't catch it. As early as the 15th century, hair was the main disseminator among different tribes and within the communities as martial status, age, wealth, rank, and social hierarchy within the community or tribe. Before I go any further, now I was talking the other day, last week on the Master Warrior Clan, when I did my presentation on the Caribbean people, talking about them acknowledging people, beings, and how they use certain greetings to greet certain people They greeted you if you was they did a certain greeting. They acknowledged your being by greeting you if you was a certain age. If a person was older than you greet them a certain way and they greet you back. If a person was the same age as you greet them. If it was male, female, you greeted them differently. An elder, you greeted them differently. So and they distinguish how they just like I said on that presentation, they distinguish from the clothing and they distinguish from the hairstyle. So you can distinguish if a woman was married, she will wear her hair a certain way. If a woman wasn't married, which is talk about the mortal status. If a woman was not married, she will wear her hair a particular way. So you would know that this woman was available and she was not married, or this woman is married and she's no longer available. Certain way that certain people wear, certain people, the youth may wear their hair, the elders may wear their hair, the adults may wear their hair. You may determine how old they are too. You can determine how old they are by that particular hairstyle. Also wealth, you can establish wealth. Sisters or the brothers will wear their hair a certain type of way, and you will know that these people are have some type of wealth, or they are some type of high ranking official, or some status of some status of royalty by these different hairstyles that they may wear. And I just have a few hairstyles of the brothers and the sisters here. And I talked about the Herulak when we talk about going back 4,000 years when we go to Kemet with their different hairstyles that I showed up there. And one a lot of us know is the Harula. And you can see here you have you like I said, you have the lock here in the back, or you have the lock on the side, which a lot of the Hema people wear it on the side, like in Kemet, or they wear the big braid where the braid is reversible and it's going toward the front. And I'll show pictures of that later on. Hairpins, beads, cowrie shells, color cloth, flowers. And again, you don't you see me mentioning a lot of my presentations. You'll hear me mention cowrie shells, and you'll hear me mention beads. And I just keep reiterating this, and I know it may get on some people's nerves, but crystals and stones. You hadn't heard me say that with the plethora of presentations I have done in Africa. Um, we don't talk about crystals. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about stones. I'm not downplaying again those that make crystals, those that make different colored stones on their neck, on their fingers. I don't have a problem with that. But don't associate that culture with African culture, you know. And again, we use beads, cowrie shells, we use coconuts, um, we used all kind of things, but it wasn't stones and crystals. So hairpins, beads, cowrie shells, colored cloth flowers, and other objects have been used to adorn hair or symbolize particular stages of life or events. So you may have particular people, women or men may have certain things in their hair. I like us here, we deal with the dreadlocks here, which I'm gonna talk about the dreadlocks and the people who wear the dreadlocks in Africa. But a lot of times we'll decorate our hair with the cowrie shells. So we'll have cowrie shells at the end of the different dreadlocks. So we just talk about the dressing of the hair, like we see here now. We see the different bows that people put on their hair to decorate their hair for the female. So they use different things for as the hairpins. They may have certain types of beads. We're gonna get into. We're gonna show you the beads, the elaborate hairstyles with the beads, the elaborate hairstyles with the cowrie shells, and even the elaborate hairstyles that y'all seen on my past presentation. With some, especially I think I did with the Welcome to the Omo Valley with the Koro people. I showed a lot of pictures, and I showed a few pictures of the women that had certain types of flowers that they decorated uh, their hair with. So with those different types of decorations symbolize a particular stage or a life event that may finna take place. The Kari in the Tanzania made an orange hairpin in Nigeria. So the hairpin here at the bottom. The Igbo craft wooded hair comb for groomed and styling their hair. So here's the comb to groom their hair, and they had all kind of different hairpins that they decorated their hair with and so forth. Uh, when they began to visit Africa, Europeans were impressed by a number of variety of hairstyles. In the book of description of historical accounts of the Golden Kingdom of Guyana, written in 102, Dutch explorer Peter de Marais provided a detailed description of drawings of 16 distinct hairstyles he observed in the region. I tried to get those drawings, but I was eventually was able to find them, but I was not finna pay the money to get those drawings and didn't have time to actually get the book to actually pull the book, the pictures of the brother, this Dutch explorer that went over there and actually draw those different hairstyles that he's seen in one Pacific area in Africa, which was Guyana. Hold on one second, y'all. Son, son, son. Stop beating the ball. Sorry about that. I always can go live. My son wants to get loud every time I go live. Sorry about that. Africa. I mean African. So the hairpins, the beads, the coral shells, the color cloths, and the flowers that they decorated their hair with. Here's just a few more. And I showed you one particular hairpin, and I showed you another hair. I mean, I showed you a hairpin. I showed you a comb. Here are some other different combs. You have the African comb from Chakwo people. This is in the Congo. You have another one from Guyana, which I just showed. Not showed from Ghana. I showed you one from Guyana a while ago on the other slide. African combs by the Balao people of the Ivory Coast. Elaborate. These are different combs or picks. Have African hair combs, the Zulu people of South Africa. Here is another one, African combs from the Kari people, which I just did a presentation on them. No, I did the people on the Kari people. These are the Kari people. I'm sorry. No, the same people. I just did a presentation on them. The people in Tanzania. All right. Hair is also a special spiritual significance in Africa. Many African cultures saw the head as a center of control. Listen to this. Hair has a special spiritual significance in Africa. So your hair has a spiritual significance. Many African cultures saw the head as the center of control, communication, and the identity in the body. Hair was regarded as a source of power that personifies the individual and could be used for spiritual purpose or even a cast of spells, which we're going to get into that because your hair was actually sacred as well, and they can use your hair to do evil things with. So they didn't let people get in their hair all willy-nilly. Wasn't a person from down the block that they didn't know, okay, I need you to do my hair like some of us do today. We'll go to this hairstylist. We may go to this hairstylist. Our hair was sacred and we didn't want people in our hair because we used our hair for spiritual things. And again, it says that the African culture, it seems the head of the hair as the center of control, communication, and the identity in the body. And we're going to get more into that. Since the rest of the highest point on the body, hair itself was a means of communication with the divine spirit, and it was treated in a way that were thought to bring good luck or ward off evil. Again, it says since it rests on the highest point of the body, the hair itself means to communicate with the divine spirits, and it was treated in a way that was thought to bring good luck or ward off evil. You got something to say, Brother T'Challa? I thought your mic was unmuted.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, if you had something to say, man, step in.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with what's being said right here because, we understand that in order to get close to what we call the divine or the creator, being clean and everything like that is important. And, not having clean hair brings about problems, but I'm sure you're gonna go in on that.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it some more. We're gonna talk about it some more.
Yep.
All right. According to the author Anya Bird and Laura Thoughts, communication from the gods and the spirits was thought to pass through the hair. to get to the soul. Brian and Thomas, 2002, page 4 through 5. In the Kamaru, for example, medicine men attach hair to containers that held their healing potions in order to protect and portion of the enhance their effectiveness. So they used, and I meant that I thought I put a picture down here on the bottom, but I didn't put the picture on here, and I've been through with this. I didn't go back and look at it. I should have went back and looked at it last night, but I was through with this about a week or two ago, and didn't go back and look at it. But I thought I put a picture down here. But a lot of the medicine men, they attach your hair to certain types of containers, and they use it as some type of healing potion. You know what I'm saying? In order to protect, or even enhance or affect certain things in your life. So hair was very important to our ancestors. And again, it was a hint, a sense of communication to the divine, up to the spirits. And they didn't allow anyone willy-nilly in their hair. And it was uh uh through the hair was enabled for the spirits to get to your soul. Hair also strong social. Hold on. Peace, brother. Any Red Sean California, man, you back? You back? Okay. I seen him in there. He ain't on with me. I got my brother T'Challa on here with me today, keep me company. But Sean on his way back from LA. And appreciate that Senate Mo for putting the link in the Dagger Squad. Appreciate you. All right. Also, hair also has strong social and sexual connotation. Most societies regard long, thick, neatly styled hair on a young woman as a sign of health, respectability, and fertility. So you'll see here, you see these sisters, and ooh, these are dreads. Look at these long dreads. These long dreads, and again, long hair, you know what I'm saying, on young women was a sign of health, respectability, and fertility, qualities that make them desirable mates. So it was attractive in certain cultures for females to have long hair. It will let the men of the counterpart know that these women was healthy uh, due to looking at their long, healthy hair. Uh, and these women was very respectable and they was very fertile. Which we know producing or building nations is the most important key. It's building nations, but in order to build a nation, you have to go through the most important ceremony in Africa, and that is marriage. Because when you talk about marriage, you are talking about procreation. So marriage and procreation go hand in hand in Africa. So you can't talk about marriage without not talking about procreation. You can't talk about procreation without talking about marriage. In traditional African cultures, both men and women groomed their hair, and unkempt hair was a sign of illness, mourning, or a antisocial behavior. So if your hair wasn't kept, and I'm gonna show you another reason too. If it says here, unkept hair was a sign of illness. And sometimes when we ain't feeling good, like a while ago, you just seen me. My hair's not comb, my beard's not comb. I'm at home, I'm comfortable, I'm feeling under the weather just slightly a little bit. So I'm ungroomed. But we see our sisters too with hair ungroomed, not feeling good. I'm not having a good day. And you can tell by the hair, we fast people. You all right, sister? I'm all right. I'm just really not having a good day. And you ask, maybe because of her posture and the way that her hair may be. So it says the signs of illness. Oh, I already have it. Mourning. And a lot of African cultures, you will see that during a time of mourning, a woman would not have her hair combed, and she would do this deliberately. So you will knew mostly if she wasn't ill, she was in a time of mourning, so she kept her hair unkept. A woman wouldn't comb her time during a time of mourning, and we know through various cultures There are different times. I mean, there may be a day or two, like I talked about the Caribbean people uh, in Tanzania. They groomed outside. They mourned outside of the house. So they mourn outside of the house between 2 to 3 days. So it just all depends. You got some people mourn for, and some churches mourn for a week, mourn for 2 weeks. So however it is for you allowing the family to mourn, the families or the women will keep their hair unkept. Hair type, hair color and textures varies throughout Africa. Hair varies from thin to thick and from nearly straightened to softly curly. I'm going to read that again. Hair color and textures vary throughout Africa. Hair varies from thin to thick and from nearly straightened to softly curled, i.g., Ashanti. The tight curl, the Mandingo. Scientists believe that the dense curly hair textures most typically in Africa helps to shield the head, which it does, from the strong sunlight. About 75% of the dark-skinned people on this continent have hair labeled kinky, while 15% have curly hair. Curly hair is found among the Ethiopians, the Nubians, the Somalians, and others. And these places they are naming are in East Africa. And other straight or wavy hair or black Africans is most often found in very humid regions and the forest areas of the Sahara of the Sudan. So you have brothers, I have brothers in Ethiopia, Nubia, and Somalia. And these brothers have curls in their hair. Curl hair. It says 75% of the dark skinned people in the continent have kinky hair, while 15% have curly hair. This brother here looks like he can go on the Soul Glow. Y'all remember that Coming to America? Yeah, Coming to America on the box. Let your soul glow. Let me stop tripping. But yeah, these brothers look like they can be models. All right. Most Africans have dark hair, usually black, but some have lighter hair in brown, blonde, and red shades. Scientists think these lighter shades sometimes occur because of the environment's factories as a result of nutrition uh, uh, deprivation, and that prevents normal pigmentations, including those in Guyana and Senegal, which you will see certain um, and it's dealing with the certain environments, you know what I'm saying, the certain nutritions that may be deprived that you may see a lighter color of the hair. And I didn't put the picture in here, and I apologize, and I should have went back and reviewed, but I got plethora of pictures on here that I'm gonna show. But I thought I had a picture on here as well because I wanted to actually show you some of our younger brothers and older brothers and sisters that actually hair is not black due to the different environment that they're in, and maybe the nutritions that they're getting. So the environment factory holds key to that they may have not jet black hair, but they may have a lighter hair of brown, blonde, or red. So I wanted to show you those different shades of color of those hair. And eventually you may see some that may have blonde hair, and again, it is due to the environment that holds a factory or holds a key to that the different colors of the hair. And we know people hair, we pass in every day that hair is maybe not black, but maybe black and brown. You know what I'm saying? Maybe reddish. I got reddish in my hair, but it's not natural. But we have, I know one of my homeboys, his hair is reddish. You know what I'm saying? Light skinned brother with reddish hair. Scientists, I already read it. Well, I read scientists think that these light shades sometimes occur, which I just said, because of the environment factors and the result of nutritional the preparations of the prevent normal pigmentation, including those in Guyana and Senegal. Hairdress works only with members of their own gender. Hair dressing, which might be done daily, involves cleansing, then combing, oiling, and brother T'Challa just talk about keeping the hair clean and groomed. So they on a daily they involved in cleansing and combing and oiling and styling into various braids, wraps, curls, twists, and other shapes, sometime within the decorations accessories. Diverse styles. Okay, you have here you have a young sister here, and you have an elder, and this elder will be considered as what we call today as a hairdresser. She's a groomsman, a groom's lady. So she would be considered today as a hairdresser. You know what I'm saying? In her certain community, you know what I'm saying, or her certain tribe or clan, or in her certain, or in her society, she will be considered a hairdresser. So this person, this elderly person who is doing this young lady hair, she knows, this young lady knows this person, because again, the hair is sacred. And again, the hair, they consider the hair as a communication to the divine and to the spirits, and also for the divine, or for divine to get to the soul through the hair, that which comes from the head through the hair to the soul. So they didn't let certain people into their hair, because they can use portions, pluck their hair, and use it for for evil. And we're gonna get into that, which we showed you about, which I told you about the medicine man using them pieces of your hair and using them to enhance things in your life and to bring on good things into your life. Um, since ancient times, hairdressers have enjoyed a high status in traditions, African cultures, and hair grooming times are sociable. In most communities, including those in Ghana and Senegal, hairdressers work only with members of their own gender. So you will see the males doing the male's hair, and you will see the females doing the female's hair. Hairdress, which might be done daily, involves cleansing, then combing, oiling, and styling in various braids. And again, they kept their hair up. They cleaned their hair on a daily. Oiling and styles in various braids, wraps, curls, twists, and other shapes, and sometimes within decorations of sort. And I know we think braids come from over here, but we've been braiding our hair since time immemorial. All right. Hair was also a social acti- uh, activities. Hair was a social activities as it still is today. As a woman gathered to do each other hair, it it has an opportunity of socializing, in which we know if you go into beauticians today, they in there gossiping, they in there socializing. So this been going on. This is, like I said, this is nothing new. They've been doing this since time and memorial. So you see two sisters are doing this young sister hair. And again, this young sister here that is sitting down, and you have the two what we would call today hairdressers grooming this young lady hair. This young lady knows these two individuals, because again, they do not allow any and everybody in your hair. They have to know exactly who you are in order to get in your head, because again, the hair was considered sacred. And here's just another picture of a young sister, and she's what we call a hairdresser or groom's lady, is doing another young lady's hair in her tribe. And again, this lady here knows this person is not a stranger to her. Here's another picture of another a groom's lady, or what we call a hairdresser or a beautician, or what we call today, doing another. And you can see with this form of hair, these people are in high status here, because I can tell because of the elaborate high hairstyle or high braids that they have in their hair. They have some type of high ranking status in their tribes. Braids remains one of the most common styling techniques in Africa. Certain braiding patterns are associated with religious associations and other events in a person's life, as well as everyday style. For some styles, braids are arranged in intricate designs around the head. Sections of the hair might form geometric shapes such as triangles, quadrals, and regular intervals, or the rows might be curved. So this is nothing new. Again, braids is nothing new. We've been doing braids since time immemorial. Braids is our style, is a part of our culture. The different designs that we started wearing back in the days when we started seeing Allen Iverson with the different triangles and the quadruples and the regular braids and so forth. Those designs, those ones, we think that was new. That came out with Allen Iverson, and and it took off. No, we've been doing this through time immemorial. Braids been out since we existed. The different hairstyles, the different designs been out since time immemorial. Nothing new. Hair wrapping also produce complex designs and styles. Women wraps and sections of the hair from top to bottom with a thick thread and then arrange these sections around the face and the head. Other wrap styles dating back centuries are designed to stand upright from the head. Styling aids from animal fats, conditions, and stylings. In Central Africa, women use a mixture of artery and animal fat to hold their hair in long cylinder shapes. And I show one particularly dealing with the welcome to the Omo Valley with the Koro people. So I showed them using the different types of artery and other things to make their hair red and to hold their hair in place. These were different things that they use, and the animal fat that they use with their hair to hold their hair in long cylindrical shapes. Tavo, they didn't have spritz back then, sisters. Tavo, a combination of honey and animal fat, has long been used as a fixation for curl braids and the Malajas Republicans. So those brothers that I showed that was from Ethiopia, Somalia, and from the Sudan, these brothers was use these types of these different types of chemicals or things that we use to put in our hair these days for us the grease to make it shine, for us the spritz and gel to hold the hair in place. These were some of the things that they use as an activator when we used to wear curls. So these brothers would use honey and animal fat uh, as a fixture for the curls of their braids. Formerly Madagascar, Nubians developed. Son, calm down. Uh, Republican former Madagascar. The Nubians developed a type of ironing comb that used to make roll coils around the head. I'm gonna go back and show that picture because it just mentioned the Nubian brothers again, and I showed you the texture. 75% of those in Africa had kinky hair, and you had 15% that had curly hair. So everybody didn't have kinky hair. You had 15%, especially in East Africa, the Ethiopians, the Nubians, and the what's name. So they developed some type of curling iron back then, also for these elaborate curls that was in these hair. Now I ain't gonna whoop him. He need one though. He need. All right, traditions and rituals. Hair has been a part of the customs and ritual designs of thwarf evil spirits, bringing good luck or comfort to those in the morning. Many customs relate to the head and hair of newborns or the dead. For example, during the naming ceremony that takes place 7 or 9 days after the birth, which we know in different cultures, you don't get a name right after the birth. A lot of times it is 7 to 9 days, or it may be 11 to 14 days. It just all depends. And then sometimes the girls are named later than the boys. The boys may be named in 7 days. The girls may be named in 9 days in certain cultures when you get your name. Uh, After the birth, the Yoruba may shave the baby's head to mark a passage from the spirit world into the world of the living. So now, so they're saying in the Yoruba culture that if the babies had hair, they would shave the head for it to be a passage from the spiritual world into the living world. So mostly I think what they probably talking about is when we are traveling, because again, when we're talking about the ori, uh, the ori is the essential self in the Yoruba culture, what we call the soul. So, and on in the Ikole Iran, what we call the spiritual world, or we call the heavens, or the invisible world, we know that the ori, or the essential self, is traveling from the Ikole Iran into the Ikole Eya, which is the earth or the physical realm. So the soul is traveling here. So they are shaving the head for the soul to make a passage from this Ikole Iran into the Ikole Eyu, uh, to the living. The Sean's hair may be used as good luck charms or healing tonics, which I talked about the medicine men using your hair to bring or enhance things in your life or bring good luck into your life, or you can use them as a charm. Even today, I was thinking about uh maybe being either buried back in the motherland or either being and my my hair being used as a certain certain piece for my son to wear among hold on where I left it. Healing tonics. A dead person's head is shaved to mark the patches from this world to the next. So they also does the same thing. They does this when the baby is born in the Yoruba culture in Nigeria, shaving the baby head so the soul can reach through the head by the hair being shaved. So and it also does the same thing for the passage for the soul to have a passage through the head from the Ikole Eron to the Ikole Eu. Uh, and in the Akan tradition, I mean, we're in the Akan and other various traditions as well, they reverse it for the dead. So now you have it for those that may be born with their hair shaved, and they does it for those that may be deceased. So now that they can have a passage from this world into the spiritual world by shaving the hair. And I'm gonna show you what they use, what they do with the hair when they shave the heads of the babies or they shave the heads of the deceased. Um, Lost where I was at. Okay. Um, Among the Akan of Ghana, however, women and men who are mostly closely related to the dead person shave the heads and the bodies as of respect. So they does this as a form of respect also. Oh, I want you to go back there. I don't want you to come back out till I get through. Because see, you acting silly now. Don't come back out till I tell you to come out the room. Sorry, y'all. He's acting a fool because I'm on the thing. Um, and he done made me forget where I was at. Is this a new slide? Okay. The showing of hair is used. Okay, no. See, I lost train. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Among the Ghana, however, women and men who are mostly closely related to the dead person shave their heads and the body as respect. Certain groups use hair from the hair from the deceased. We're gonna see what they use the hair for, or from their relatives in the funeral rites. Another custom practice on the Malagasy Republican, formerly Madagascar, dictates that window shades widows shaved their heads. Some women had their hair removed in such a way that it could be used as a wig, which we nothing new. We do, what they doing now. Like I say, you women, let's go, y'all go get the 9-piece. Give me the 10-piece. Give me the 15-piece Brazilian. Give me the 24-piece. Y'all know I don't. I just hear the names and the Brazilian and the Cuban and all this other type of stuff. They was doing this back in the day. Y'all wearing these wigs y'all wearing today are real human hair. They was doing this back. Our ancestors was doing this back in time too. again, shaving the heads of the babies or shaving the heads of the deceased, and they was using this hair as using these hair to make wigs, but they was using the hair for other things, which I'm gonna reveal in previous slides. But one of the specific of what they was using these hair was for making wigs, and we see that I showed you a wig on another slide in Kemet where they made the wigs or they made the weaves. You know, the wigs, weaves. This is nothing new. Use a wig after the mourning period. Oh, and and again the woman. So we see them shaving the baby's heads, they shaving the deceased heads. Also the widow, if she's one slide I showed you in certain cultures show you where the hair was she wouldn't style her hair. Have you seen a woman where her hair was all over her hair, it wasn't kept? It means she was ill. She was either sick, ill, or she was in the mourning stage. So she was in a mourning. She was grieving. So she kept her hair unkept. So you knew that this woman was in mourning when you seen her hair. And in certain cultures they would shave their hair if they was in a mourning period. And again, those mourning periods can be from 3 days, some can be for 9 days, some can be for 2 weeks or even longer. Those mourning stages. Women in some parts of West Africa was expected to stop grooming their hair when they were widows in order to repel attention from other men, since people on both genders avoid somehow with untidy hair. You right, cause I sure run away from you. I ain't. If your hair is unkept, it's dirty, looking, you ain't got to worry about Kofi trying to holler at you and talk to you.
Hey, that's pretty deep. Seeing
Go ahead.
that that they actually, because like you just said, it's funny, but it's true because we look at each other and we like, man, you're looking kind of rough there. Like, you look like a bum on the street, like you don't care about yourself, and that
Mm-hmm.
ties into good character, Iwa Pele, where
Mm-hmm.
you're presentable and making yourself, and so that's just interesting that to purposely ward off attention that they go ahead and just walk around, just wake up
Mm-hmm.
and go.
Right. Right. And family, please like and share the show. Like and share the show. Again, if you like and you appreciate the information that I'm presenting, thumbs it up. If you don't like the information, thumbs it down. I appreciate it either way. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions, just put the things in the chat. We far from done. But I hope y'all enjoying it. Again, I enjoy putting the presentation together. And like I said, you know some people that may like this information, you know what I'm saying, how special hair was in our culture and still is, you know what I'm saying? Share it with somebody, share it with a group now, share it with an individual, where they can come on and see it live or go back later on in the archives. Social significance. African hairstyles have revealed a person's age, birthplace, clan membership status, mortal status, occupation, among others, which I talked about earlier. They distinguish themselves from the clothing and their hairstyles. So again, you may know a person may be a certain age because of a particular hairstyle, which I showed you on a previous slide. Birthplace. You may this person may wear like the people in Himba. They wear this certain big braid that look like the Hiru braid that's in Kemet. Oh, okay, those people are from the Himba tribe. Those are the Himba people. You know what I'm saying? You may see the people in Somalia with the curls. Oh, those brothers and sisters are from Somalia with looking at the texture of the hair and the way that they wear their hair. You may see the brothers that may have the red clay in their hair. Oh, those people are from East Africa. They are from the Koro people. Those are the Koro tribe. So you notice what region they may be from also by a certain hairstyle that they wear. Also clan membership. Okay, this is an elder the way he wear his hair, or a certain society that may be in the society. Okay, she wear her hair like that because she may be from the. I mean, he may wear his hair like that because he may be from the Poro society. You see, high status. Oh, she's a chief. He's a chief. I mean, she's a chiefess. He's a chief. Oh, he's a king. He's a queen. Or this person has wealth, by certain hair. Oh, this woman is married because of a certain hairstyle that she wear, or this certain hairstyle. Okay, this young lady or this young man is not married, so I'm interested in him. So looking at his hair, I know I can go up to her, and maybe ask her out, what I'm saying, to get her interested, to get some things going between us, and vice versa with the woman. Oh, okay, this man is wearing his hair a certain type of way. I know he's not married. So I can go after him because I'm taking a liking in him if it wasn't already an arranged marriage through the different rites of passage, because we know going through the rites of passage, the adulthood, and you go through your circumcision rite, and the next step is the adulthood. I mean, not is the marriage, and a lot of times there are arranged marriages, and a lot of times there's other things that you do to show interest in a woman. Certain events that take place, the dancing, different types of style of dancing, the different types of holding a person by dancing, the offering of food to the men to show interest in them, and vice versa. And the man styling himself, and we still do this today, where we'll get GQ just so we can try to go out and impress another woman. Our ancestors was doing the same thing to attract the ladies. For instance, the Koromo men of Nigeria could recognize by their particular shaved heads with just one tuft of hair on the top. And I'm gonna show that because the women also did the same thing. The babies also did the same thing. In certain cultures, the entire head would be shaved, except the front of the head. The front of the head will have a small portion of the hair in the front, or the head would be shaved almost in a mohawk fashion, but it did not go all the way down. But the turf went from the forehead to maybe to the middle of the head. Community leaders wore most elaborate hairstyles, and only rulers wore the most elaborate hairstyles. And the only rulers wore a headdress. Crowns were made from leather, gold, beads, and fascinated braids. And again, it's just there you hear you see beads or you see coral shells, no stones, no crystals. Priests also have worn hairstyles that set them apart from other community members. And again, that goes up on the status. You will also know this brother to be a priest or a high priest by a certain hairstyle that he may wear. Young men wear hairstyles that shows that they are open to marriage, whereas married women hairstyles show they are unavailable, which I have been talking about. Before marriage, Igbo girls in present day Nigeria traditionally use clay, ground coals, and palm oil to shape their hair into a horn shape that bends toward the brow. The girls in Senegal may wear braids with whisker styles, while married women have plainer covered styles. In Kenya, young Turkana men spent hours getting elaborate hairstyles that show that they have completed their initiation rites for an adulthood. So even the hairstyle goes into the adulthood. You can know from him wearing a certain hairstyle, you know that he's still a young boy or she's still a young girl. And when he goes through and rites of passage and he is started to be and goes through his initiation phase in the rites of passage as an adulthood, and he gets through it, now he is recognized to the family, his community, and society as a man, and she is recognized as a woman, and she wear a certain hairstyle to represent her being a woman or being recognized to her community as a woman, and the man also. Among some ancient society, African men wore their hair in distinct styles when they were about to go to war. So even when we got ready to go to war, if you seen me with my hair a certain type of way, or you seeing, I'm gonna use seeing Sean because you always see him. You see him on social media, anywhere on Facebook, anywhere on YouTube land. He is at war. He is at war with everybody. So if you seeing Sean with a certain hairstyle, you know what I'm saying? He's finna go to war. So Sean will have this war hair. He wouldn't wear no other hairstyle but a war hairstyle if it was up to him. That's all you're seeing with the war hairstyle. This signal their families to prepare for a possible death.
Hey, Sin, can I?
Spiritual. Go ahead.
Hey, I wanted to say something to that last slide too.
Let me go back. All right, I went back. Go ahead.
So you have with the part you just talked about a certain hairstyle for war. Now
Mm-hmm.
we know amongst our brothers and sisters today, those that you might have a joke with, hold on, let me take my earrings out my ear, or let me pin my hair back and this and that. When two sisters are about to get down, or two brothers are about to have a confrontation. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, and I can attest to that. I got long hair myself, um,
mm.
and I know my avatar probably don't. It look like I don't have hair, but I got my locks pulled to the side in a braid, similar to what we're talking about. Different type of, you know what I'm saying, hairstyles. And I know myself. Every now and again, as a man, you might come into a situation where you have to put somebody in check, or somebody just gets stupid for whatever reason, and you might have to defend your peace. So me having long hair, I know that's the first thing that somebody's gonna do is try to grab at your hair when you are in a confrontation. So I just wanted to bring that out in terms of it's not just our brothers and sisters on the continent in ancient times or current era times with the history that they would go to war and have certain hairstyles. I mean, right now today, if a brother got hair, first thing before he get out, man, hold on, these fools acting crazy. Let me put my hair in the ponytail real quick, especially those of us with locks and what have you. That's the first thing that I do because I'm not about to that hurt. Pulling my hair all out. My hair had me bald headed on YouTube or War Star, but I just wanted to bring that out. That's something that I can relate to.
All right. Yeah, just chime in, man. Whenever you get ready, man. Just chime in. Um, young. Okay. That was spiritual significance. Because again, I talk about how our ancestors say that the hair was spiritual, and they communicated through their hair to the divine and the spirits. You know what I'm saying? And then the head, how important the head is and how significant the head is. And we talk about that a lot in the Ifa traditions again when we talk about the Ori, because the Ori also means head, but we know the Ori has the Ori Inu and the Ori Adu, Ori Inu and the Ori Edu, which is two parts of the head. Just as hair was elevated for social and artistic reasons, its spiritually connection also served as a heighten of significance. Many Africans believe the hair is a way to communicate with the divine being. According to Maham Majub, an associate professor of history of Columbia University, a native of the Dakar, Senegal, uh the hair is the most elevated point of your body, which means it is the closest to the divine. Consequently, many thoughts communications passes through the hair. Yes. Damage effects to the slave trade. As the studies of American history has revealed, and I have to correct before I go any further, I have to correct people on a not a day-to-day basis, because I really don't fool with a lot of people. Um, um, really don't go out a lot. I rent a few houses to make a lit money. And I got a lit job where I work 3 days a week. So when I counter those people that I work 3 days a week, work 3 days a week on this, I call it the plantation. Wherever we working, I call it the plantation. If I ain't on it, I call it the plantation. But I have to get on these young girls. And I don't know, I was talking about this in a back chat to somebody, and I was talking about how it might have been on the phone talking, and it might have been, I don't know who, it might have been with T'Challa, who I got on here, it might have been with Vasa, it might have been with Shauna, or it might have been with Satep and Rock, because I talked to them, a whole lot. So it might have been one of them. But I have to correct women, and now the women on the plantation, the 3 days that I work, they don't come in there with the blonde weeds or the blonde hair anymore, because they said that brother, they're gonna get on you. Or they don't talk about the Brazilian hair or 24 piece, you know what I'm saying, looking like the European with the straight hair and not the kinky, not the kinky hair. They don't talk about, oh, my hair was nappy, so I had to throw a wig on. They don't use the word nappy to me, because I always ask them, where did you get this word nappy from? Why are you so infatuated with looking like a European? Your hair is not straight. Why you want to wear blonde hair? Why you want to straighten your hair out with these different chemicals that are seeping down into your brain that may give you some type of brain cancer or some form? Why you want to put a chemical that may burn your hair out and burn your skins to a certain degree? So a lot of the women's, you know what I'm saying, though not use that word, or even worse, certain hairstyles around me. And I'm starting to notice a lot of them already had natural hair. It's the weaves that they put in the hair. It is the wigs that they wear in, they wear in the work. So they are starting to wear their hairstyle. So I like that I'm speaking up when I see my women, because it hurts me to it really hurts me to see that they are showing that they hate themselves by saying their hair is nappy, so they have to straighten their hair out or cover their hair up because they are ashamed of the way their hair, the shame of the way their hair is looking. You know what I'm saying? That's self-hate. So, and a lot of it has to do with the effects of the slave trade, because we was proud of our hair, and I'm going to continue to show you different hairstyles that we have, but I'm trying to get to the root and give y'all an understanding of how important and significant the hair was in our culture and still is. And we have to be proud of our hair, our natural hair. The damages affect the slave trade as a study. American history has revealed the slave trade not only affected physical damage, but it also left emotional and psychological scars. The most devastating scar that it still reflects today is that is done to the slave's self-image. Yes, it has destroyed our image. This is especially true in the reality to hair and skin. Right, because we hate our hair and we hate our skin. As they both became a framework of determined race. Slave owners often describe African hair as being woolly, thus likening them to animals. There are other terms would later be used to justify inhuman treatment of the slaves. So a lot of this stuff is coming from the slave master. And he's reiterating. We're passing this garbage down to our kids, and we're passing down self-hate to our kids because we hate ourselves and we want to look like the very people that oppressed us and still oppressing us to the day. Insanity to me. After years of repression and constantly seeing those with straight hair and light skin afforded better opportunities. I'm going to say that again because that stuff is still going on today. After years of repression and constantly seeing those with straight hair and light skin afforded better opportunities, and slaves began to internal these words, and we do this today. Not only the men, but the women, but the men do it today. We bleaching our skin to try to look a certain type of way. Our women are straightening their hair to look more like the European. You know what I'm saying? We self-hate ourselves in. We're talking with proper rhetoric. Yes, I need the job and such and such. So we're talking, you know what I'm saying? We're dressing a certain way. We don't want to be our true selves the way we dress. We want to dress like the European because we're going to get better opportunities if we look like them. If we speak and we talk like them, if we present ourselves like them, then we will get more opportunities. So we'll compromise who we are to get that. Like the little piece of job I got, I work 3 days a week on this job. Like I said, I make make my little money renting houses, but I do this little piece of job. And on this piece of job, I got experience because I done owned 3 of my own businesses at one point in time. I was a business owner. And um, even when I worked in the past, long time ago, I was either manager or ops manager. I always worked administrative. I always got broken down, or I always left the job because I didn't compromise who I was. I was always I always loved myself. So what I stood for, I wasn't going to let anybody compromise who I am just to get a better opportunity, just to make a little bit more money. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna do that. And even with this 3 days I work a week, since I got all this experience, they wanted me to be either a manager or ops manager, which is above a manager. And I said no, because I see how the other managers and even the ops managers, black, that compromise themselves just to please the European. And that is to treat your own people bad. You see, to lie to your own people. You see, so they're compromising themselves for an opportunity in a dollar bill because they don't love themselves enough to be like, hey, no. I come from a culture where we love ourselves and we demonstrate good character. Therefore, I love myself. I love my people. So I'm not gonna do what you tell me to do by making it hard for my people. Go out here and work them like dogs. Treat them like bats. Call them back one, back two. I'm not gonna do that. I just went out on a lit rant. Didn't mean to go out on a lit rant, but this is where we get a lot of this foolish talk from. Seeing those with straight hair and light skin afforded better opportunities. The slaves begin and internalize these words. Ultimately, self-hatred begins in an effort to educate others about black hair and celebrate diversity. The tradition Oshun or Shugubu African hairstyle. This is a hairstyle of an elder. This here is an elaborate hairstyle here. And our sisters, we wearing these high hairstyles now. They let young girls, women with a complex coffer, which is and hair ornaments. This is from the Fulani. And you can see the different ornaments that she has decorated right here on her hair. And there's different scrap and some type of thing right here on her hair as a decoration. But this is a woman from the Fulani tribe. Here is another elaborate hairstyles where you have the corporate perfect by various decorations. She has Corey shells in her hair. She has beads in her hair. Mothers of pearl buttons. Here are some of the pearl buttons that she have in her hair. She metal. I mean the pearls, the metal. She metal. You'll see this a lot in a lot of cultures where their hair decorated with these different metal rings that they have in their hair. Pins and roll bones and ivory in the West African Sahel, the Fulube, the pool. This is also from these people in Fulani, cultivated impressive hairstyles. So this is another hairstyle. This woman got a whole lot going on here. Woman with coffee in the form of the crest, the ornaments, cones, again, Igbo, Nigeria, and West Africa. West Africa, you see the braids. This form different forms of braid through the term braiding, twist, plaiting, and reverse braids. The reverse braids, I see a lot. This still going on today. The kids with even when I had long hair, I had the reverse braids in not too long ago, and I see, today the kids wearing the reverse braids are often interchangeable. They are actually describe different meanings by the styling of their hair. All right, dreadlocks from the Himba tribe of Northwest Namibia. So dreadlocks is nothing new. It wasn't invented by Bob Marley. I know y'all think Bob Marley invented the dreadlocks and we wear the dreadlocks, or the dreadlocks come from the Rastafarian culture. But the dreadlocks started over here. Dreadlocks started with our ancestors for the Himba tribe, whose communities are located in the northwest region of the Nabama. Hair indicated one age, life stage, mortal status. Hair is often dreadlocked within a mixture of ground orchard, goat hair, and butter. This is how I know y'all use beeswax, the dreadlock your hair, and I think it's some other thing that they use now in the dreadlock to hold the dreads in so they can grow when they twist the hair. But they used the Himba people use a mixture of ground orchard, goat hair, and butter. A modern time Indian hair extensions purchased from nearby towns has been included in creating dreadlocks. So, and also the extensions is nothing new. When we add extensions into our hair, they use extensions as well in their hair. A teenage girl who has entered puberty will usually wear braided strands or dreadlock hair that hangs over her face. and a married woman, a new mom, would wear the imbribi headdress made from animal skins over her head. You see here, thing. A young woman who is ready to marry would tie back her dreadlocks, reveal her face interchangeably. So the woman that was married will kind of have her face covered or have some type of thing, a headdress over her head, while the woman in the Himba culture would tie her dreadlocks to the back, letting you know that she single and ready to mingle. A young woman who is ready to marry would tie back her dreadlocks, revealing her face interestingly. Single men wear a single plait plait to indicate their unmarried status. And once they're married, they cover their heads, never to unveil them in the public again, with the acceptance of the funeral attendants. Brazen beads from the Fulani tribe in the Sahel region of West Africa. So you see these metal rings, which I said is very popular hairdress style that they will wear on their heads. You know what I'm saying? The Fulani tribe is the largest nomadic pastoral community in the world that populated West Africa in the Sahel region. A very traditional hairstyle from for women included long hair begin being put into 5 long braids that either hang or looped on the side. And you can see the braids with the coffer of the middle of the head. Hair is decorated with beads and coral shells. There again, you keep seeing beads and coral shells. No stones, no crystals. And again, I don't have a problem with people that wear stones and crystals, but do not equate it with African culture. Make sure you acknowledge the culture that it belongs to. A tradition that passes through the generation to women and young girls include attachments, the family of silver coins and ambers onto braids and heritage symbols, as well as an artistic purpose. Like I said, you can continue to see these silver coins or these metallic metal things that they have decoration on their head. All right, braids and beads from the Wuabi tribe from the Sahel region in West Africa. The Wuabi tribe is a subgroup of Fulana tribe, also residing in the Sahel region of West Africa. They are the pastoral nomadic tribes with an estimated population of 100,000. The young girls and women of the tribes wear braided hairstyles similar to the Fulani women, consisted of 2 braids on either side of the head or a few braids on their hair of the coffer of the middle. The hair is usually decorated with beads and coral shells. Orchard dreadlocks of the Hamra people. So I showed you with the Himba people. So now we're with the dreadlocks. Now we got the Hamhara of the Hamra tribe of Ethiopia. I pronounced their name wrong, and I try to go back now and look through the comments. Like I said the other day on my channel, as well as the Masi Warrior Clan channel, I'm going to try to go back, at least 2 to 3 times a week, because I know we was bad at doing that. People looking at the videos and the archives, making comments, and I never see them, or we never see them, because we never go back on there and look. So I'm gonna try to go back on there and look through the comments, see if anybody had any questions that looked at the presentation later, so I can answer their questions. But I had made a comment when I was talking about the Omo Valley. Welcome to the Omo Valley with the Karo people, which the Hamra or the Hamhara people was also from Ethiopia in the Omo Valley as well. You have numerous of tribes that I talked about, which I'm gonna go back and do a series on the Omo Valley. The Karo people was the first installment of the Omo Valley. I'm gonna go back later on and I'm gonna talk about the Hamhara people, the Mercy people, and a whole other variety of people that is in the Omo Valley in Ethiopia. But these are another group of people with dreadlocks. But some brother on the chat, not on the chat, but came on and crucified me because I pronounced the name wrong. You know what I'm saying? I know who these people are. I pronounced it wrong. I apologize for pronouncing the name wrong, but just because I pronounced the name wrong does not mean I don't know who these people are. The Amhara tribe is a pastoral community with an estimated population of 20,000 that lived in Ethiopia in the Omo Valley. Women are often adorned with colorful beaded jewelry, and they mostly wear their hair in thin arched dreadlocks. They are created with water and binding resin. The twist stress are known as gotcha. Pre-adolescent girls wear their hair in cornrows that are decorated with beads. So here is another form. I showed you the long dreadlock, the Reddit long dreadlocks from the Himba people. Now these are the short, neat dreadlocks that a lot of our people over here wear and let their hair grow from the Hamhara people. So you got dreads here. So the dreads and braids is a part of our culture. Nothing new. All right.
As
Hair, go ahead.
Seeing real quick, what what do you feel about the because growing up I wasn't allowed to have locks. I wasn't allowed to have braids, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the our brothers in the chat and those that'll be tuning in and listening, they can attest to. I found locks in the Bible, like I don't know who Easy Bands is in the chat, but we was commenting um towards the beginning of the video. I did a presentation on the Nazarite vow, you know, and there's mention of locks in the Bible, and there's different implication of the word lock in terms of just a lock of hair, and then you actually have locks, like hair being locked.
Mm-hmm.
Two different, and both of those are mentioned in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in and did a presentation in high school on that. And I wasn't allowed to have locks and braids and things growing up. Primarily, my family, coming from the traditional Baptist Christian school of thought, and really extended to any Christian school of thought, but definitely with Baptist Christian, especially with us here and our African American experience in this country. Um, we weren't allowed to have long hair. That was equated with something that's feminine, and something that is not what a black man should want. And so always having a fade or some type of low cut was what we grew up with for the most part. And I just wanted to get your take on, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that not understanding that aspect of our culture and the damaging effects that it has on us in this country?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it just goes back to poor education. Like I'm saying, that's why I did this presentation because we our hair is very important. And through via the Atlantic slave trade, we forgot how important our hair was and what we used our hair for, and we used uh, our hair in our spiritual systems. We used our hair to um, advance things in our life. You know what I'm saying? And people can utilize your hair for good or good for evil. And we took pride in our hair, and certain hairstyles represented and mean certain things in our culture. And again, just going back to the slave trade, it destroyed all of that. So we have no understanding at all of our hair and how important our hair is. You see, so and I had in my me coming up to the same way. We wasn't allowed to have until I became a teenager. The Jerry curl was popular, so we was allowed to get the Jerry curl at that age, and our hair kind of got long, but we had to become. We was a teenager then, I think of 14, 15. But at first, we wasn't allowed to have long hair. My grandmother equate that with being you're not gonna look like a girl that's being feminine, which is that's totally incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right. Hair arrangement is a mode of African art too little to frequently recognized in appearances through field photographs, figure two here in the traditional culture. So you can see that even in their sculptures, they had the hairstyles that represented a certain type of status or a certain type ethnicity. I mean, ethnic group or background or spiritual system that you may practice. Because a certain style that I may wear, you may resort. It may resort to a certain type of spiritual system that I may practice. And here you have here this woman here. I can't remember exactly where this sister. I got the picture again, but I can't remember exactly where tribe this sister is from. It's somewhere in West Africa, but you have this same sculpture here of the same hairstyle, and this hairstyle meant a certain thing in her particular culture, and you can see it exemplified. The hairstyle is exemplified in all of their sculptures and their relics as well. Scholars, missionaries, colonial, and travelers with the interests of Africa have long been aware of the diversity and visual richness of both men and women hair arrangement. Usually they were best informed about those worn by the people with whom they were primarily concerned, focusing on the group of several cultures and the geographical related groups. Here, this bro- this brother here look crazy. A Dan warrior with a beard and unshorn hair decorated with an amulet. So this is a particular style that the Dan tribes will wear in West Africa. They will wear this particular style again. Like I said, they will wear particular styles, um, um, hairstyles resembling that they was warriors or resembling that they was about to go to war. But they also wore uh, amulets as well. So you can see this brother here with this look like he got a beaver on. Let me stop talking. All right. Now we see this as well. We see the matted up dreadlock where the dreads begin to be fused together. We see this a lot. I see this a lot in the Haitian culture here where they have the big dreadlocks. The dreadlocks are matted together. These big dreadlocks. I see that a lot in the Haitian culture, especially in Florida. Among the Ashanti, priest hair was allowed to grow into long matted locks in a style known as impemmispis, a term sometimes translated as I don't like it. Uncut hair is usually associated with dangerous behavior. Madmen let their locks grow, and the same hairstyle was worn by a royal executioner. So, with this particular hairstyle of matted back then, you would know that this brother here of the Ashanti tribe is a priest. So just looking at this matted dreadlock hairstyle again, you will know that this brother is a priest. But also in the Ashanti culture, those that may have uh, unkept hair, uncut hair may be associated to dangerous behavior as well as a madman. You know what I'm saying, in the Ashanti culture, or a person with these long matted dreadlocks, and also can be recognized as a royal executioner. All right. I talked about in a slide with a particular culture shaving their head off and leaving the turf at the top. And I talked about another group of people that hair was shaved, but it was shaved almost in the form of a mohawk style, where the hair went from the forehead and stopped right here in the middle of the head, a turf, a small mohawk on top. So the child partially shaved head of the Mabeli of Cameroon, which that's who I talked about, the Cameroon people. All right, so you have here an infant of a toddler on both sexes may have their head shaved. You see the females as well as the male, except for the terps of the hair left on protect the frontella, which is the top of the head. They wanted to protect this top of the head right here. So the women and the men as well as the male and certain Cameroon cultures will wear this certain particular hairstyle. So I would knew by looking at this child or looking at a woman or a man that okay, these people are from Cameroon. These people are from this region. And again, they exemplified these things in their art. I showed you a picture a while ago, which I'll go back to this it'll go back. Okay, there you go. Woman here I may have it on another slide. I think I got the same, and I actually go into why they wear their hair with the two braids pointed up in the air. So Coolio might have got this from them. So, and you can see it resembling in their artwork as well. And then again here, you can
No,
see
you didn't say Coolio
uh,
said.
with the Cameroon people, the same. Go ahead.
No, I said no. You did bring Coolio in there.
Yeah. And so you can see the sculpture here. So we talked about people shaving their hair off too. Shaving their hair off, women shaving their hair off in mourning. Certain cultures shaving their baby's head off so that the passage from them traveling from the spiritual world to the physical world, the passage can make through to the soul from the spiritual world. So they shave their heads off, the children's head off, or the deceased women will shave their head off in a time of mourning, or shave the deceased who is dead hair off so they can make a passage from the physical world back to the spiritual world or the heavens or whatever you term it as. And by them shaving the hair off, we told you that they used that hair to make wigs, but also they exemplified their hairstyles again in their art. And this patch of hair up here is actually real human hair. You can see some of it fell off of it because it's an old artifact. But this is real. This is someone real hair that they have put up here on the top. All right. Twin figures of the Ejebe, the Yoruba, Nigeria wood, metal beaded fiber. This is another artifact here where you can see the hairstyle with these big dreadlocks. You can see that both women on these sides is matted up into a different form styles. You can see them in this form, or in standing tall up. So again, they exhibit their hairstyles in the different art in their artifacts. You can see here, and I think these people are from East Africa as well. Forgot the name of the tribe, but you can see again they exemplify their hairstyles as well as in their art here. All right. Hair can be depicted by means other than sculptures, by carvings, and a coffer can be suggested by coloring the head of the mask or figurines. Turf and hair can be represented with wooden pegs or among the sugi. Iron arrowheads inserted pointed downward, and these are what they're talking about. And these hairstyles are exhibited on these arrowheads inserted that are pointing down in these different hairstyles, and some of them have actually real human hair on them as well. Um, a wig usually made of Raphael and knotted fiber, so you go and you can go into certain people home. Because my girl, you go to her house, she has a bunch of mannequins, and she has a bunch of wigs on the mannequins. So again, that's nothing new. We did that. So here is a form of a style here that they will put actually a wig of real hair, or a wig that they may have made out of something else on what today we would call a mannequin. A wig usually made of Raphael or knotted fiber made attached to the crown or attempt to a mask. The wigs are often more fantastic version of an actual coffer, which is hair that expires them. There are also examples of masks or status with an attachment of human hair, which I showed you a while ago. I showed you artifact that actually had human hair from the Cameroon people. The Crestman, going to be the Crestman mask. I got Christmas ask. Christmas mask on the Crossing River. This is from the Ajagon people. Seeing any Haret Shankal funny or Adro Kurini any Sean Calfani did something on the Ijagon people, and I think he talked about this particular artifact here, but you can see the elaborate hairstyle, or the braids or the dreadlocks and these twirly, this spiral fashion of the Jagum people. And you know, if you want to check it out, he has that presentation on my channel that he did last year. He was like, I think, the second person to actually grace my platform with a presentation, powerful presentation too. So check that one out, the Jagum people. All right. Crown Chief of Ghana of We Tetera of Ivory Coast. This is in West Africa. You can see the elaborate hairstyle, braids here. She have them, the different designs and spiral. And again, Island Iverson did not invent the different quadrants, triangular styles. They're dealing with the braids. Again, we've been doing this through time and memorial. And again, they exhibit those hairstyles in the different artifacts. You can see the braiding styles and the braids that are hanging on the side of the side of the face. So you can see the same thing here in the artwork that they do. All right. A fly whisk handle. Yes, this is a fly whisk handle here. Yoruba, Nigeria, Ivory, Island Bread Inc. The initiation of the Yoruba priest involves shaving and treating the head with herbal preparations and sensitivity. So you can see the shaving of the head and the braids here. You will know this individual to be considered a priest. Hold on one second, y'all. Right, son. Bryson. Your mom out here. I guess she's gonna go. Um, so some of the priests in Nigeria, you would distinguish them again from the shaved head and the braids. And this here is just again the representation of their hair was also in their artifacts too, because they was proud of their hairstyles. Um, the Yoruba priests involved shaving and treating the heads with herbal preparations that synthesize it to a signal from a deity or an orisha. Henceforth, the individual must not carry a load on his head except for objects sacred to the deities. Frequently around the patch of a hair, the oshu is allowed to grow in the center or front of the head. Priests of the Orisha Eshu wear their oshu like a pigtail called iri, which characterize many Eshu staff figurines, which you see right here. Face mask. The Nigangala, this is in Angola. This is in Central Africa, a woodic fiber. This is from the one of the private collections. Here you can see the braids, the fabric braids attached to the mask recreates a hairstyle favored by the Ngangala. This is essentially from Central Africa. Here you see real human hair. Again, they use real human hair. And again, a lot of the human hair comes from the babies that are shaved at birth, the deceased hair that is shaved, or the mourning women hair that is shaved. So you can see the real hair here on the this particular mask, and in this particular mask, and this is also from the Ajagam people. Bye, son. Love you. Go ahead. I know it's raining. Why do I always have to be raining? Close the door behind you. The crest mask, the Ajagam Nigeria wood skin human hair, basically 26 centimeters. I ain't gonna read all of that. But again, this is the Ajagam mask. I'm not gonna read all of it, but again, it's a real human hair. Right here, the figurines, the scene here in figure eight, all of them is real human hair. So they use the hair on the masks, you know what I'm saying, a real hair on the artifacts. They use real hair on something else on my show too. All right, neck rest, often called the headdress or the pillows. So with these particular things here, with the headrest, these people will actually lay back in these things, and the hairdresser would dress your hair or do your hair. And also you would use these certain things for Yeah. Excuse me, y'all. Hold on one second. Ooh. Yeah, tell your mama thank you. Bye, son. All right. Um. Yeah. Sorry about that. And I'm about to wrap it up too. All right. So again, those neck rests. So again, you will use these neck rests will be considered the pillows back in the day. Um. Y'all, hold on one second. Golly. Hello. Yes, I'm gonna call you back in a few minutes. I'm doing a presentation. Bye. Hello. I mean, my bad, but yes, they will be used as pillars or a form of holding your head back and them doing your hair. But the neck rests, often called headdresses or pillows, have been used all over Africa to protect one's coffer during sleep. And we know those women, they get their hair done. They trying to sleep all on their hands because they want to look pretty the next day. They got a fresh do for the next few days. They walking around with a kink in their neck. They can't turn their neck the same way they were sleeping on because they were trying to keep their hair. So this is what they did. This is what they use to actually kind of keep their hair. So the women, y'all, they was doing it back in the day. The same thing y'all doing now. They doing, they did back in the day, you know, and still doing. So, but these are some of the pieces here. Uh, African to protect one's coffer, which means hair during sleep. They were found as part of the grave funerals in ancient Egypt and Nubia. The concept may have spread it from north throughout the continent, but it is by no means impossible that the move was from south to north in prehistorical time. The variety form does suggest long separate evolution. So some say it developed, these things developed in Kemet, which is in North Africa, and then it spread it abroad. All right, here go another one of the headdresses you see right here with this Zambura warrior. So he's getting his hair done. So again, it was used, to keep your hair, to do your hair, a mechanism to lay on so you won't mess your hair up. They was a form of a pillar. So I wanted to show and demonstrate one of these headdresses with somebody actually getting their hair done. So this brother is getting his dreads retwisted right now with the artery and this color is but the Zambura warrior has his archery hair braided by a friend. A mixture of cow's urine and ash is often rubbed into hair first to help straighten it. The wooden headdress is used as a pillow at night. So I just wanted to demonstrate that as well. And this brother getting his hair done, he knows this individual who we call beauticians today or hairdressers today. He knows this person because they didn't let any any person do uh do your hair. They had to know you because again, hair was so important and it was tied into their spirituality. And the medicine men use these certain things to enhance, to make certain potions with your hair, to enhance your lifestyle. I mean, to enhance things going on in your life, and people could take any part of your hair and actually harm you with it if they got your hair. So they did not let any person deal with their hair. And again, the men did the men hair and the women did the women hair. All right. This
Hey,
is a
Sam,
tunic.
that
Go
that
ahead.
you go back to that last slide for a minute.
All right.
I don't think the family caught that.
What's that?
So a mixture of cow's urine and ashes.
I know they did because I
They
looked
didn't
after
catch
I
that.
said it. Yeah, I said it to see if somebody was gonna say something about the cow urine.
Yeah, I
You know.
just it that goes back to the conversation we were having. Um, I won't discuss it too much live on the air, but in terms of our Western mind and looking at something from the continent and their
Mm-hmm.
practices, um,
Mm-hmm.
just do our again for that correction. on the scholarship tip as the big brother, let me know, hey, you can't come with this thinking that you can, you can have your opinion, but you got to have that information out there. You got to, that's deep because we wouldn't even think to use those things in our hair over here in the West.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not at all.
Yep. And then naturally, then then things then burn their hair out. It didn't pull, it didn't take their hair out. You know what I'm saying? So these things was actually healthy. You know what I'm saying for them. It wasn't giving them cancer, brain cancer. Didn't have these chemicals and stuff in their head. So I named a whole lot of things in other slides if people want to go back and look at the certain things that they used in their hair for these hairstyles and to make their hair shine, to change their cut, to change their hair to a certain color, for them to twist the hair, for them to put the braids in, how other things that they use to actually keep the elaborate metal pieces and cowrie shells and beads and other things in their hair. But here on this side, this is a tunic grassland Cameroon fabric of human hair. This whole tunic is human hair. So again, they use the shaved hair from the children, the shaved hair from the deceased person, the shaved hair from the mourning woman to make wigs. They also use that hair to put on their artifacts to demonstrate their different hairstyles. They use human hair on their masks that I showed you, and they use them on certain tunics and clothing. Hair. So hair was very important. Tunic, grasslands, Cameroon fabric, human hair. Vegetable fiber decorated with hundreds of turfs and human hair, and sometimes small pieces of red felt or fiber have been recorded in funerals in a grassland kingdom of Oku. The tunic distinguished the leaders of a certain lineage, masqueraders, and including dancers wearing male, females, and animal masks. So it has something particularly to do with the masqueraders. So I guess you see this individual, he will be some type of masquerader dancer if you've seen him wearing this certain type of tunic with this human hair on. Here you see on the left hand side, you see the men hairdressers, Sango Upper Mubanga River. This is in Congo. This is in Central Africa. The different hairstyles, and then they have the cowrie shells with the decoration of cowrie shells, not stones, not crystals. I'm gonna make somebody mad. I'm not trying to make nobody mad, but we deal with cowrie shells and beads and coconuts and different types of metal trinkets and stuff. We don't deal with the stones and the crystals. And here is another. This girl here got, look at these braids in this woman hair. All this braids, all braids. The Nasara, one of the wives of the Akriki. And again, this is a hairstyle. And again, you would know by this Pacific woman here. This is out of Central Africa as well, because I'm trying to show you in North Africa, South Africa, East Africa, and West Africa, which I have demonstrated these different hairstyles and the meanings behind these different hairstyles. Yeah. Oh, sister, my name is Jade. She said, leave those stones alone before someone messes up your chakras. Yeah, me stop for they take and pull out my crown chakra, or they, you know what I'm saying? They put the testicle chakra at the top and the top chakra in the middle. Let me stop for my chakra stop spinning 360 degrees in revert. Let me stop playing. Oh my god! But this is elaborate hairstyle, and this hairstyle also resembles she's married. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In Central Africa. Here is another one, and I've been showing. If you look at the Mossy Warrior Clan like page, if you hadn't, please go like our Mossy Warrior Clan Facebook page. We try to put information on there daily as possible. I know last week I might have put one thing on there. I try to put something on there at least 2, 3 times a week, and I've been putting some stuff on there showing feathers. So I know a lot of times when we would see uh people with dark hues with feathers, we always resort to them being we always resort to them being that's a Native American, that's Aboriginal, which incorrect. We wear feathers as decorations on our head, as I showed you with the people in Central Africa in the Congo region. They were they wore feathers. I showed you in East Africa, they wore feathers in East Africa when I showed you the different feathers and the different colors that was dealing with the warriors wearing those different red, black, and white feathers that was pinned in their hair when we talk about the Koro people. And here is a woman here from the Sudan. She's from East Africa, but she's from the Sudan, and she has in a feather decoration in her head. You know what I'm saying, with the braids in her hair. A woman with the feather and other hair ornaments in her hair. The Ola Hamid, she's from Sudan. Here is an elaborate hairstyle here, a Nigerian woman. Hairstyles symbolize certain things, and it almost looked like a certain thing that I see the women wear over here. They slick their hair down and then put this piece in the back of it and pin it up and go on about their day. You know what I'm saying? But this hairstyle means a certain thing in Nigeria, in a certain culture that this woman comes from in Nigeria. Here is the Himba brother, Himba young brother. I told you they wear the Harulak on the side of the head, on the front, and in the back. I showed you one on the side. I showed you another brother with the braid going straight to the back, or they were it coming straight toward the front. Then you have here, and this brother, this Himba. He's from the Himba tribe, from Nambia. And then you have here, I think this might be Coolio's ancestor here, a traditional hairstyle. This is in Central Africa. This is in the Republican here. So Coolio may have copied these people and got this hairstyle, and we think Coolio came up with these crazy braids pointing all up at the top and going all type of ways. And I may show a few other people, I think, from Central Africa and other places where the braids are pointing in all types of different directions. And I showed one earlier too, where what we call a beautician today or a hairdresser actually with the plaits braided sticking out all over the place, and she was doing another young lady hair the same way. Also, we talked about the hair being shaved and just this front lobal piece of hair, but I showed you in other cultures, it is almost resembling with the turf being at the top, but it's being turf going a little further down, resembling in a mohawk hairstyle. So you can see here the Dinkays in the Nura hairstyle here, on the left hand side here, and then you can see the scarification marks, which represents in this culture it would represents a beauty. You know what I'm saying? Um, Here you have the body woman here, where you will see in certain cultures where the women actually shave their hair and have shave half of their hair, shave the middle section of their hair, or shave certain sections and leave certain sections of the hair. And you can see here with the body woman here. But you can also see her child in the same resembling of the Cameroon people with the hair shaved all the way, but have the turf hair at the top with the color archery and other things in it. But he has the dreadlock going in top of his hair. So braids and dreads were very popular in Africa. And it didn't start with the Rastafarian, and no disrespect to them with the Rastafarian culture, or dreads did not start with Bob Marley. The Fulana girl, which I talked about, with the shaving of the hair, and certain African cultures, the women shave their hair in a particular way, and you can see this actually coming back. You can see a lot of the girls. I forget the R&B singer, but I see a couple of R&B singers. Cassie is one of them. Cassie, a few other ones where half of the hair is shaved, and you got another portion of the side of the hair. We thinking these hairstyles are just coming out, but there's nothing new up under the sun. There's just things that we coming about. We forget about them. These stuff go out of style, or we forget about them, and then they start to come back. So and we start to do things and don't know why we're doing certain things, because it's embedded into our DNA. It is a part of our makeup. So we do things and don't even know why we do things because it is attached to our culture. It is attached to our homeland. So here you see the shaved head here, and then the sister with the plaits here. You can see the hair has been cut, shaved low here, and then she has a few here. This is the caramel jogo hairstyle here, and you can see the sister with the scarification marks. And again, we talked about scarification plenty of times. Y'all know what scarification is by now and what they represent in certain cultures. All right, here you have the masa hairstyle. You have the braids going toward where actually they look like dreads. There are dreads that are actually going toward the front. And you have certain pieces on here to hold the dreads in place. This is a masa hairstyle from the masa people. This is Mercy, and I'm actually going to do a presentation on them pretty soon. Don't know when, hadn't started, but I'm going. These are actually people from the Omo Valley as well as East Africa. And again, the women in certain cultures shave their hair and leave certain parts of the hair on their head. Yes, family, if you like it, please hit the button. Like I say, if you're enjoying it, like it, share it to some people that may enjoy the video, appreciate the video, because it's a lot of information that I shared in the video, and maybe we'll start looking at our hair in a different perspective now, and knowing how important our hair is and where a lot of these hairstyles come from, and maybe we can get a pride for ourselves and stop putting the chemicals in our head and embracing our own hair. Here is another hairstyle. Here, dreaded to the back, small dreads from the same Cameroon Jogo woman here with the beads, not stones. Also you have the hammer hairstyle. You have the braids in the hair, uh, going from one end to the next with beads, with the trickings of beads and a feather. He's not an abo. He's not an abo. No, he's not an abo. He has a feather in his head. Somebody gonna see that picture and say that brother from the Chickasaw. That brother from the Chickasaw tribe. No, no, no. He from the Creek tribe. That brother from the Creek. I told you he was kidnapped from in America and brung to Africa. Because you know they say the slave trade started in reverse. He was brung there. He ain't from Ethiopia. He's not from the Omo Valley, because that's where this brother is from, the Omo Valley. He ain't from the Omo Valley. That's what they're gonna tell you now. Let me stop playing, because that ain't even my nature, man. If he ain't playing like that, I really don't care what those people do. That's why you don't even hear me hardly comment on the Abo, but I have a few presentations already done smashed the Abos uh claims already. But anyway, here is another hairstyle of braids and a piece of hair at the back from this young lady. She is from the Tisama. This is Tisama hairstyle. She's from Ethiopia. Here was another hairstyle here. This is a woman from the Zulu tribe here. Beautiful sister here with the hairstyles. And I showed a few pictures, and now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of pictures that I show on a lot of my presentations, and even when I'm putting information on Facebook, people have a problem with me showing like here with this sister with the breast, her skin out. And man, I be talking to so many people and a small group of people. And again, it might have been Jehudi Bakmaat, which is Tashella, who's on here now. It might have been Sean. It might have been Vasa Nicolo Gullah. Um, man, few other people I talk to, count on at least twice a week or whatever. We be talking about a lot, but people have a problem with me showing these pictures, and again, these people are in a hot area. They are in a tropical area where the sun is close to the equator. And again, when we deal with culture, when we deal with African culture, African spirituality, African religion, whatever you want to name it, it is engulfed in Iwa Pele. I'm using Iwa Pele because I love Ifa, which is a tradition from the Yoruba people. Now, but good character is rooted in all African traditions. I'm showed this because I have talked about so many different African cultures and how African culture is in cultivating character and cultivating good character, and how most of most of the divine or the creator or the supreme being, he is it is originate the good character is originated in him and or in it or she, and it births good character in the African societies or in that society. So when you talk about good character, we're talking about discipline. And today, none of our people have any type of discipline. We see a chick on the street, every female that passes us, we have to whistle and holler and check her out because we have no form of discipline, because we went through no types of forms of rites of passage, understanding what it takes to be a man and how to respect other people. See, but our rooted in our culture, we had that type of discipline. So we didn't walk around trying to go and grab somebody's butt or grab somebody's chest because their chest was exposed. They are in a hot area. The climate is hot, the temperature is hot. So you're not gonna see them walk around with a lot of clothing on all the time, wool clothing on, hooded hoods and jacket and so forth. So if we was rooted in good character, if we had those rites of passages back, we would women could walk around with the butt out. Women could walk around with their shirt off too, and wouldn't have to worry about somebody trying to grope them or trying to attack them. Vice versa with the men. So we just don't have that type of discipline. So, but I'm gonna keep showing these beautiful women breasts and so forth on because I have discipline, and it doesn't affect me. And we come from a culture where we have discipline and we practice good character, and we understand and we respect our women and we revere our women. We are rooted in protecting our women and our children. So I'm gonna keep showing them. I just threw it out there because somebody did shoot me asking me about why I got the women chests and stuff out all the time. This is from the body people, and again they shave. Certain cultures shave off certain parts or certain sections of the hair. This is the body girl. Here are my references for this Africa's hair freestyle. Again, you can vent my sources, go through my sources. I don't have a problem with you going through my sources, strings, uh, and so forth. I hope everybody appreciate this presentation. You know, it was hope people was well informed. And again, this presentation was also to hopefully to inspire the men as well as the women to stop putting that crap in their heads where the chemicals is seeping down, making you sick, burning your scalp, giving you, you know, these certain degrees of burns on the scalp. You know what I'm saying? Taking a pride in your kinky hair or your curly hair and looking like yourself and not looking like the European. Also, the functions of the hair and the different hairstyles that we use, and a lot of the hairstyles that we're doing today is nothing new. We use those. We've been doing that since time immemorial. And again, the braids and the dreadlocks is rooted in our culture. That comes from us. That's our culture. But the other different elaborate hairstyles and so forth. We had different hairstyles, and through the Atlantic slave trade, we began to lose the sense of how important the hair was and how we say that the hair is a communication to the divine and the spirits. Real quick before I jump up off here again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Today was supposed to be a double hitter today. I was supposed to put thing on the Mossy because I did some of the Mossy last week. It was Sean's turn. Sean go, I go. But due to Sean being in LA, I didn't want to take his slot because I could have did my Tanzania and Mozambique. Tanzania and Mozambique are the Makandi people, master carvers and slave resistant tribe presentation. I could have did it today, but I was like, no, I'll just do a double hitter. I will let Sean keep his slot. I won't take his slot. So he'll come back on. When we'll talk about his presentation here in a minute. But today, so I said I'd do a double hitter. So I wanted to do my African's hair presentation, and then Sateppenrod was supposed to come and do a brief this presentation here, a brief summary into the Valley of the Kings presentation. But it was a storm that took place where he was at, and it knocked out his internet. And his internet been down today, so he was trying to thought his internet maybe would come up, but he called and they won't be out to get everything straight until Tuesday. So due to that, September won't be presenting at 6 o'clock, so there won't be a double hitter today, just the only presentation today off my channel, which is the Kofi. But for the next 2 weeks, next 2 months, there's going to be something on my channel every Sunday, regardless if I'm presenting or someone else is presenting. And the people that are presenting are the people that I respect, that I feel like need a chance and feel like they have something to say and they have something to bring forward where I can learn and the people learn. So Satepara already did something. The Battle of Kadesh. So go back and look at that presentation. The Battle of Kadesh. Sean did something last week. He did something on the myths of Africa, of the perspective of Africa. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but go check that out. He did that last Sunday. I did something this Sunday on African hair. And Satep was supposed to also do something with the double hitter, but due to the storm, he's not going to be able to present at 6 o'clock p.m. So we're going to reschedule that one. But next week, right after the Masi, Sean gonna go, and then 6 o'clock, we brother he used to go by Pan Nahisi. He's gonna do something here, the Afro Americans ethnics of national origin. That presentation will be at 6 p.m. Next Sunday. Uh, um, Good presentation so far from what I've seen. Um, with the slides that he gave me, I think he's gonna have about 20 slides. I think, or 25 slides. I seen the first 9 or 10 slides, which is great slides. And he was waiting to get some information from some primary information from a university or a professor or something. So that's going to be a powerful presentation next week. Afro Americans, ethnic and national origin, and then that is actually the September the 2nd, and then September the 9th may be the brief summary of the, into the Valley of the Kings, since we're gonna have to reschedule it. And then on the 16th, which will be on Kofi Piesie TV, the reprogramming of the African American mind, a brief analysis of European perspective on African motifs and cultures in general, why we need to learn from the objective uh, point of view. And this is by my brother Jehudi Bach Ma'at, who is known by T'Challa. He's also on this presentation. I'll let him speak in a minute, and he can, talk about it a little bit if he want to, which will be on the 16th, which will be a double hitter. You will see this brother twice. You will see T'Challa twice. He's going to be on the Mossy Warrior Clan channel on the 16th at 2 p.m., and then he's going to be on my channel at 6 p.m. The one he's going to be on at 2 p.m. I'm going to show it in the slide. I'm going to show that presentation in a minute. Boy, I'm excited about this presentation here. I was a little iffy in the beginning, but anyway, September the 9th was supposed to be Satep's next presentation, but it's going to be this one. And I didn't have the name of the one was supposed to be on the 9th. Then on the 23rd, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a small presentation on the griot. So we'll go more into the griot, who the griot, what the griot does, which we talked about that plenty of times already, but I'm gonna do a presentation on it. Then I got my brother Vaasa Nicolo Gullah. Still ain't summoned me the name. I was asking for the name. He ain't summoned the name yet, but he's doing a presentation on the 30th of September. So we locked and loaded for the next 2 months with these presentations on the Kofi Piesie channel. So if you ain't subscribed, please subscribe, and hit that bell so you will know when we go live. You won't miss out on this good information from these brothers that I got coming on my platform, as well as me presenting information on this platform too. Now on the Masi Warrior Clan, coming real soon from the Masi Warrior Clan, this is the Tanzania and the Mozambique Makandi people, the master carvers and the slave resistant tribe. This is by me, It's a nice presentation, full of pictures as well. So I'll be going into why I say they are master carvers as well as one of the slave resistant tribes, and they wasn't affected by the slave trade and other religions until the late 19th, 20th century. So I'm gonna talk about how they did that. So I'm gonna go into that. Um, I don't know exactly what date that in. That's actually going to be the week. Oh no, that's not going to be the week after next. That's probably going to be on the 23rd. That may, I think on the 23rd. I think that's when I'm gonna do this presentation and then do the griot presentation on the. So y'all get Kofi Piesie twice on the Mossy and on Piesie TV. Also, next week is Sean's going to be on the Mossy, the owners of the Doors of Prosperity. So he's going to be talking about the twins. I don't want to mispronounce the name and tear the name up, but the owners of the Door of Prosperity by Sean. He's supposed to do it today, but due to him being out of town, he wasn't able to do it. So be looking forward for my Aru Kurini. Aru Kurini means brother. My brother NERS Sean presentation on next week at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Mossy Warrior Clan channel. Now, the woman circumcision in Africa by Kofi Piesie and Tashela Baguru, which is my brother who's on the panel now. We're going to be doing a presentation. I talked about doing a presentation on this, but it was far in the rear view until me and T'Challa had a conversation over the phone a few weeks ago, and he put his slides together, and I was like, okay, we're going to go ahead, we're going to rock out, and we're going to go ahead and do it, because it was far in the rear view, because I did a presentation on rites of passage. We had people that had some issues. I did a presentation on the Bandu Society, the Secret Woman Society in Sierra Leone and Liberia, which is in West Africa, and I mentioned it. Some people had a problem. I understand it's a touchy situation. I understand that it's a controversial topic, but I guarantee you, a lot of us is misunderstood when it comes to woman circumcision. I don't agree with it, but I do agree with some of the things. Again, it's a lot of things in Africa. Just because it's Africa don't mean that it's right. I don't agree, and I'm not biased with my work because I show you all the time. I don't show you the great things. I show you every part, the good and the bad. And people can go look at my videos and see that I don't always show the glory of Africa. I show the glory and I show the bad. But in certain parts, when we deal with woman circumcision, I agree with a lot of it, and I'm going to show you why I agree with it and show you things in real time, what's going on, why certain cultures was preventing and doing certain things when it comes to the woman. And I'm so excited about doing this because it even educated me some more by me going and doing a bunch of research. So I'm telling y'all, be ready, be locked and loaded, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you the insider perspective. I'm going to show you what the Africans are talking about. I'm going to show you about the Bondo Society women. I'm going to talk about the Zoesis. I'm going to talk about the Zokis. I'm going to talk about the Maja. I'm going to talk about the people in Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guyana. I'm going to talk about the Dogon tribe. I'm going to talk about the Kikuyu tribe that's in Kenya. So I'm telling you, you're going to have a different perspective, and you're going to understand why, and you're going to understand the other perspective. Yeah, I'm going to give you where this other perspective from the outsiders. I'm going to give you the outsider perspective, and I'm going to give you the inside perspective. The inside and the outside perspective, and I'm going to give you the name of the outsiders. And I'm going to give you the medical records. I'm going to give you the interviews of them interviewing people. I'm also going to give you a real-time Bundo initiated from Sierra Leone, who also is a has a PhD and is an anthropologist, and also went through a woman circumcision, and give you her perspective and give you certain things that she was allowed to say, but not everything going through the initiation. I'm going to give you a first-hand account. So I'm telling you, be ready. Be ready. And then I'm also going to give you a perspective why we ain't talking about this other form of cutting. We talk about other form of cutting. But we're gonna go into it. We're gonna see who these outsider perspective is, and we gonna get a first-hand account, and we're gonna get the inside perspective, and we're gonna see some of the interviews from the insiders and the outside interview. I'm telling you, be looking forward. It's gonna be jam-packed with information. So be looking forward to it. And again, I agree. I don't totally agree with woman circumcision. Again, Kofi Piesie, I don't totally agree. I said don't totally agree. But with certain things I do agree with, and I'm not gonna point them things out because I'm gonna show you in real time the effects of what happening now and why the Dogon tribe in Guyana, why the Kono people in Sierra Leone, why the Mende people in Liberia and the people in Kenya did certain things. And then I'm going to show you why I'm going to show you instances where certain other things that was happening. But you can't blame if you got somebody, you always going to have something bad to go on in the culture, but you don't demonize everything because you got a few bad apples over here, or you got one or two incidents that may have happened. So now you want to condemn the whole damn thing and throw it in the trash can because you have two or three instances. And I'm going to give you the statistics on the health, and I'm going to talk about the WHO, World History Organization, and those one perspective of the outsiders that I'm gonna give. I'm also gonna give the UN perspective. I'm gonna give so many different perspectives and show you how some of that shit is so flawed and how they are coercing a lot of the people inside, coercing the women by giving them my man. I'm gonna talk about the missionaries. Man, I'm gonna talk about so much stuff in this damn. I'm ready to do it now. But I'm telling you, man, y'all be looking forward for that. I'm telling you, be looking forward for. Get your pen, get your paper out, cause me and T'Challa gonna go in. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. But I'm getting on a rant about that whole. Please go and subscribe to the Seshuma Ani Meta Nature channel. Which I am a member of. We are a group of like-minded individuals who are studying the Rani Kemet, which is the language, and the language script, which is called the Session Metaneta. We are aspiring scribes. That's what the Seshuma means. Seshuma aspiring scribes of the Metanetra. Aspiring scribes of the Metanetra. That's what Seshuma Ani Metanetra means. And also go subscribe. If you hadn't subscribed, please subscribe to the Kofi Piesie TV. Again, it is the African Netflix. I appreciate Brother Jadar. He the one kind of mentioned it, and I kind of like took it and ran with it. I don't know if he's still on here, but shout out to Brother Jadar. And Kofi Piesie TV is the channel that takes the black woman, the black man, and black child Eurocentric mind and Africanize it. So you can find anything that's dealing with the culture on Kofi Piesie TV. So please go and subscribe. Please subscribe, hit the bell. It's something on there for everybody on there. Also, please go and subscribe to the Mossy Warrior Clan, which I'm also a member of and has been doing a lot of work on that channel of lately. So please go and subscribe to that channel. Be looking forward for Ira Kurini, Ini Haret Sean Calfani presentation next week. Then be looking forward for my presentation, the woman circumcision with T'Challa, and then the Mozambique and Tanzania of the Makonde people, the master carvers and slave resistant tribe. After that, I don't know what Sean got coming on after he does the one next week, but that's why I put the other slide, his presentation slide, up a while ago. So we're gonna continue to work. It's gonna be the next 2 months again. We 3 weeks in already on Kofi Piesie TV. After the Mossy channel, you're gonna get some information from Kofi Piesie TV, and that's gonna be from either me or either from Jehudi Bakmaat, which is T'Challa, or from Ini Haret Sean Calfani, or from Vasa Nicolo Gullah, which I'm excited about. This brother, I'm telling you, this brother is brilliant. Talk to him a lot. He's gonna be a force to reckon with. I know once I get this first presentation, he get this first presentation on his belt, he gonna be hooked. Be looking forward for more from Satep and Ra, Mary Armin, also on this channel. And these are the brothers that I respect. I feel like that it's up and coming. very intelligent because of the conversations we have on the phone. And so I'm like, let's stop talking about it and let's be about it and put some of this information out, share it with the people because I'm learning from them. I only associate myself around people I can learn from. So if you can't offer, if it's not being reciprocated back, I can't fool with you. I'm offering you something, but you ain't offering me nothing back. I can't mess with you. So we looking forward for these powerful brothers on the channel. And again, I want to say Madupe. I want to say Mariwi. Hold on, I'll look at the chat before I go. Been on here long enough. And I've missed some of the questions. I apologize. I was trying to look, trying to keep up, do the presentation. And with this, if I'm not, I promise I'll go back on here tonight and look at it and do it. And I apologize again for it not being a double hit on Setepara, not coming and doing the Valley of the Kings. And that is because of his storm that hit and knocked out his internet. So he can't present tonight, but be looking forward for that presentation. You know, I have it up in the social media groups everywhere. Brother Kofi, check out the inbox real quick. Hold on, let me check the inbox out real quick. Hold on one second. Okay. I don't see them. Hold on. Okay. What I see it saying ooh, what you want me to do with this saying? Saying Vasa, what you okay, what and what book is this, man? I need this book. Let me go back real quick. Okay. Oh yeah, I seen the photos. Man, if you got that book, man, send me that book. If you got it on PDF, you know, I'll swap a book with you. I don't mind swapping a book. I tell people, you know, I don't be wanting nothing for free. You know, if you got it, if you send me something, I'll send you something. But I'll probably call you. But man, I'm finna end it, man. I appreciate y'all for looking in. I'll go back and look at the questions if I missed some questions. I hope y'all appreciate the presentation. Hope y'all appreciate the information. I hope y'all have a better perspective on your hair. I hope you understand how important your hair is. Um, yeah. And on that note, man, I'm out of here, man. Peace, brother Tony Rice. Ain't seen you in a minute, man. Peace, brother. Peace. So I'm out of here, man. Again, like the video, share the video to those that you may think that may like the video, like the information. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of here. I say, Sister Sophie, I seen you in here. I seen you in here. Peace to you too, Sister Sophie.
Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessor of the knowledge of himself, he becomes master in his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man.
I'm bridging my team, red, black, and green, queen and king, salute, now scream, I should bring from another hit. I should five I'm ripping my team, red, black, and green, queen and king, salute, now scream, I should bring from another hit. I should.
Oh yeah. Before I jump off, if you hadn't looked at that interview by me, Money, please go back and check out that interview that we did. Go back and check that video out. Peace to you. He's in the chat now. Our Cuban Line Unity, man. Peace and blessings. I'm out of here.